It's Friday, May 3rd, 2024. Welcome to episode 101 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, road construction shuts down part of Park Street for a bit. The Alameda Chamber hands out their 2024 Business Excellence Awards. A new restaurant graces Webster Street. Rain in the forecast delays our latest walking history tour. Scientists name a probable cause of death for the gray whale found off Crown Beach. First the geese, then the ducks, now the turkeys. Bird babies are everywhere. Take a minute to educate yourself about the danger of foxtails. Get ready for a geek convergence on Saturday. And raise your glass and say a hearty l'chaim. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story: if you were anywhere near the intersection of Park and Clement Thursday night, you probably heard a lot of construction noise and may have even had to take a detour. In fact, today, Friday, you're probably still hearing a fair amount going on. It's all part of the continuing Clement Avenue construction project. The latest round was to remove railroad tracks and prepare Clement for paving. The paving will continue into the morning today. Be prepared for detours, parking restrictions, and more, particularly between Broadway and Oak. Eventually, two-way traffic will return to Clement Avenue, and on-street parking will be restored where available. The end result will include final paving and the installation of a two-way separated bike lane. For details, including links to the projects as well as links to earlier Post articles on the Clement Avenue improvements, see alamedapost.com/news. Last Thursday, the Alameda Chamber and Economic Alliance hosted their 2024 Business Excellence Awards at Dash Cellars and Urban Legend, outside Building 25 on Alameda Point. The dinner recognized outstanding businesses, organizations, and individuals who significantly contribute to the success of Alameda. The evening began with an introduction by District 18 Assemblymember Mia Bonta. The festivities were shortened a bit as rain ended the event before the President's Award could be presented to Becca Parata of Vox Populi PR, but Chamber President Madeline Sadek shared her praise for Parata with the Post, saying, quote, "It is her love for Alameda and commitment to social change that shines through her work in public affairs and relations as she fosters connections across the island." End quote. Among the other awards presented, Small Business for Dash Cellars and Urban Legend, the woman-owned business Pacific Fine Foods, Nonprofit of the Year, the Friends of the Alameda Animal Shelter, Outstanding Organization to the San Francisco Bay Ferry, Green Business, Kairos Power, Volunteer of the Year, Bob Blanchard of Alameda Meals on Wheels, Community Leader, Vicki Sedlak of the Alameda Education Foundation, and Local Hero, Lieutenant Eric Klaus of the Alameda Police Department. For a complete list of honorees as well as photos of the event, see Adam Gillett's article at alamedapost.com/news. Last year at the Business Excellence Awards, hot dog purveyor Left Field Dogs was nominated for Best Newcomer. Unfortunately, Left Field is no longer with us, but their space at 1606 Webster next to Cookie Bar Ice Cream is now occupied by Mango and Mint, serving up fast, casual, authentic Vietnamese food. They are already gaining a reputation for their banh mi sandwiches. You'll also find spring rolls, rice bowls, salads, smoothies, tea and coffee among their other offerings. Owner Loan Nguyen lives in Oakland, where she has operated the Alice Street Cafe for 10 years. Nguyen's goal is to create easily accessible yet delicious and nostalgic Vietnamese food for people who are familiar with the flavors and introduce newcomers to the eatery's menu of Vietnamese dishes. Our own Kelsey Gore spent some time at Mango and Mint. She came away praising the spring rolls, calling the tofu spring rolls huge, fresh, and filling, and declaring that the strawberry mango smoothie is her favorite. You can check out more of the menu as well as some mouth-watering pictures by checking out Kelsey's article at alamedapost.com/features. From the Grand Street boat launch to Alameda Beach, Grand Street makes for one of the more scenic walks or rides on the island. The street is filled with history, and who better to explain that history than our own Dennis Evanosky? From the earliest days when Dr. James Hibbard signed a lease for 667 acres and then never paid, to the construction of some of Alameda's most beautiful homes, Grand Street is truly a centerpiece. If you know your Alameda history, you know that many streets in town were originally named for fish. Now Peru is the only fishy name remaining. Grand was one of those streets, although it was named for a fish of legend, the biblical Leviathan. Dennis navigates the sometimes convoluted tale of the former Leviathan in his latest article, Take a Stroll Down Grand Street. It's the perfect introduction to our latest walking history tour, Grand Street, Otis Drive to Santa Clara Avenue. You'll learn the history, and as he is fond of doing, Dennis will explain why none of the houses in the area are actually Victorian. You'll have two opportunities to join Dennis along with Adam Gillett. The first walk was originally scheduled for this Saturday, but rain in the forecast has postponed that tour by a week. So mark your calendars for Saturday and Sunday, May 11th and 12th at 10:30 a.m. The tour starts at Rittler Park at the corner of Otis and Grand. Secure your tickets at alamedapost.com/tours. Looking ahead to later in May, the topic will shift to the history of Neptune Beach, the Coney Island of the West. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about animals. Last week, I mentioned that the carcass of a gray whale spotted off Crown Beach had been towed to Angel Island so that researchers could conduct a necropsy in order to determine cause of death. Scientists at the California Academy of Sciences and the Marine Mammal Center have determined that the most likely cause was a vessel strike. While decomposition had advanced too far for an official confirmation, the whale did exhibit the type of blunt force trauma normally associated with a ship collision. Staying with marine mammals, looks like a potentially big year for a few species. You may have seen that the sea lions on San Francisco's Pier 39 have showed up in big numbers, 1,000 individuals, the highest count in 15 years. According to reports, the bay is seeing a major run of herring and anchovies, so food source means predators. Do remember that if you are out on the water or you encounter a seal or sea lion close to shore, that all marine mammals are protected species, so keep a safe and respectful distance. This is a fun time of year to watch nature do its thing in Alameda. As I mentioned in episode 99, our local population of Canada geese have hatched out their young. You can find them all over Crab Cove and Crown Beach. Lots of pictures and videos showing up on social media. If you look a little more carefully, the local ducks have also begun to hatch, more than a few mallard ducklings around. And Alameda has welcomed the latest round of turkeys. Haven't bumped into any of the little ones in person yet, but I have seen reports and video on social media. Last season, there were a few flocks roaming the island, with largest getting up to around 13 individuals. Right now, the babies are still small, so keep an eye peeled if you see any of the hens roaming. Oh, and your word of the day, poult, P-O-U-L-T. That's the proper name for a baby turkey. Unfortunately, for those of us who love dogs, springtime brings a major menace: foxtails. These spiky grasses pose a major threat to canines, as their seed awns can easily penetrate a dog's skin or be inhaled and become lodged in nasal passages. The main problem is that these seeds and spikes do not break down inside a dog's body and can require major surgery to remove. If you look around, they are everywhere in Alameda. The best way to keep foxtails from growing is to pull them out, roots and all. Mowing can disperse the seeds, which only furthers the problem. If you have foxtails on your property, especially in areas where dogs may walk by, you'll be doing the canine community a service by removing them. If you're a dog owner, keep a sharp eye out while walking. A brief distraction from your phone could lead to a very serious incident. There are foxtail masks available to keep your furry friend protected. This Saturday marks a perfect storm in the geek community. It's Free Comic Book Day, which is always the first Sunday in May. Check out your local comic shop for details. But to add to the fun, it's also Star Wars Day. That's right, May the 4th be with you. The West End branch of the Alameda Library is getting into the spirit on Saturday. They're inviting folks to come on by 788 Santa Clara and have your picture taken with life-size versions of Grogu, Yoda, and the Mandalorian. The branch is open from 10 until 5. After you return to Earth, you'll want to head over to Temple Israel on Bay Farm on Sunday for their fundraising Beer Mitzvah. Over a dozen breweries will be represented, plus live music and a bake sale. For you gluten-free folk, there will also be cider and mead. $36 gets you a glass and a wristband good for unlimited pours. Folks under 21 are admitted for free with a paying adult. You'll find details and a ticket link at alamedapost.com/events. L'chaim. A quick Brian Wu update. He has been scheduled to make a third rehab start with the AAA Tacoma Rainiers, but as is often the case in the minors, nothing is set in stone. However, the Rainiers are in Sacramento this weekend, and the starting pitcher has yet to be announced for Friday night. That would be a logical slot for Brian, but before you head up to Sacramento, check with the team to see if he's on the schedule. AlamedaPost.com/events for a guide to what's going on in Alameda. Starlight Movies in the Park are back tonight, Friday, as Encanto is shown at the Alameda Point Multi-Purpose Field. Show starts around 8:15. Pre-show festivities at 6:30. No grills, alcohol, or pets, please. Coffins and Cars is back for the season at the Greer Family Mortuary, Saturday from 8 to 10. The event repeats the first Saturday of the month through November. Also on Saturday, the Farmers Market, also the Little Flippers class at Pacific Pinball, and it's World Goth Day aboard the USS Hornet. 8 area yacht clubs will all be holding open houses on Saturday. Tickets are free. More events and details at alamedapost.com/events. Thank you for your support of local news for Alameda. To give a tax-deductible donation, head to alamedapost.com/memberships. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, MSN, YouTube, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, as well as our own subreddit. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple News. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler, back next Friday with episode 102 of the Alameda Postcast.